From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Hi, it's Charlie Manos, and in this episode, we sit down with Drake White. Drake joined us via Zoom on April the 27th of 2020. He had just released a new EP called Stars. It would debut at #1 on the iTunes country charts. We chat about that. We'd also chat about his long and incredible medical journey. Enjoy our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast with Drake White.
Well, they play all the way to the very end. Now, no sustain.
Nice.
We're out of here.
Nice.
That is Drake White and the Big Fire. The new EP came out on Friday. Just showing off. Stars, #1 on iTunes. And number 10, that's country. Number 10, all genre. So how are you feeling this morning, Mr. Big?
I'm feeling good, brother. Feeling really good. It's a pretty day here in Middle Tennessee, huh?
Yeah, the Zoom interview is new to all of us. How many of these have you done?
I've done quite a bit writing over the past quarantine, month, 2 months. So I feel pretty comfortable with it. It is different, though, for sure, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you have a food or drink weakness that has come on you during this time that you've been quarantined? We've asked all of our guests that.
Well, my wife is a chef, so I think every day, quarantine or no quarantine, there's a food weakness. She makes this red velvet cake. Do you know about red velvet cake, man?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh my! Well, with coffee, I mean, I'm not going to say that red velvet cake doesn't taste good in the morning with coffee. You know.
Oh, my mouth is watering right now. Stop.
I wish I had somebody to knock on the door right now and just like hand y'all a whole cake. That's what I should have done.
Well,
You
Drake,
just committed yourself to your next in-studio, what you're bringing.
That's right.
That's easy. That's easy.
luckiest man, I said, could be autobiographical for you in a lot of ways leading up to this album. How was your health?
Sure.
That's one of the most asked questions I know you get when people run into you, but we get it on your behalf here at the radio station, too.
Well, thank you. It's going great. In August of 2015, we were in Roanoke playing a show, and I had what you call an AVM, an arterial venous malformation, in my head that I was getting taken care of. And it's just a wad of veins and arteries that I was born with. So they were embolizing it, which means gluing it shut. And I was in Roanoke in August, and it ruptured. And that rupture caused a stroke-like brain bleed that kind of knocked my whole left side out, my left leg, my left arm, everything. So with the help of my wife and family and band and everybody, I just kept digging and kept making music. And luckily it didn't affect my vocals or anything like that. I'm starting to get this fully back. Mm-hmm. And it's just it really decided to take the story and use what God's given us and really push it out there and just show other people that, hey, everybody has a fall every now and then, and let's get back up and do it. Keep making music, and that's what this music represents.
Remind me, Drake, were you on stage or was it after a show or before a show? When did it take place?
No, we were on stage. We were 5 songs into an hour and a half set. So it was about 98 degrees, the temperature, not the band, but it was like it was super hot, super muggy, and I felt great. The shows have been phenomenal, and my health was really good. The AVM felt like we were on the other side of it. We were out of the woods, and I just didn't take my blood pressure medicine that day. Who knows if that's what caused it, but I jumped on stage, and about 4 songs in, man, I hit the deck.
Did it come just like a lightning bolt, or did you feel something coming on?
I felt something coming on. After a song, I played It Feels Good, and you push really hard through that song, And I felt a little dizzy, and I handed my guitar to my guitar tech and just kind of started trying to, the organ was padding the next song. And I started trying to pronounce the words, to sing the words. And I couldn't get them out. I couldn't push them out. And my head kind of went down and my left arm went numb, and I was holding the mic. And I just remember like gripping. I was like, man, I'm gripping this as tight as I can. And it still feels like it's going to come out of my hand. And then my left leg went. So it kind of gradually over the course of 15, 20 seconds, Bill, it just hit, and luckily we were 5 minutes away from a trauma 1 unit. And that was another godsend thing. And so my neurologist, whose name is Dr. Miracle of all names.
Oh my God.
How about that?
He's right here in Nashville, and he was looking at my scans within 20 minutes of me falling, which saved, no telling what that did. That probably saved my left side. And getting this back and playing guitar, starting to play guitar again, is just a blessing. I mean, I'm as fired up about music as I've ever been because, me and Alex have been through this, and oh man, it's been a roller coaster, but it's good. It's all
God
good.
is
And
good in that you finally get this music out. The EP comes out on Friday, this past Friday. You go right to number one on the, as I said at the top, on the country iTunes chart, the overall chart, top 10. Joe, you know what it feels like to have your record come out on release day and hope for big things.
Let me give you my Drake White story. I was playing golf one day, and I can't even remember who I was playing golf with.
I didn't hit you, did I?
No. But my barometer for when music is great is when it motivates people to like share it with other people. That's like another level, and it's outside of like, oh, this is my cousin's music. Isn't it great for my cousin, But I was playing golf with somebody, and we were trying to pick what to put on the little speaker on the cart. And they were like, this is my favorite artist like ever. And we just played your record over and over and over. And I loved the soulful stuff, and I loved it. And I think that and please take this the way that it is meant, I think that you might be the most underrated artist. Like, the world needs to know about you.
Well, thank you. That's what we're doing. We're digging in and sticking our heels in. I came here 10 years ago with a lot of fire and tenacity, and I got a great family. This is what I love to do and what God gave me the ability to do. And I think that the injury and pushing through, multiple labels and getting to a place where we're releasing this in this pandemic, because I just want to serve people. The injury and everything like that just brings it into a bigger perspective and changes my perspective. So everything that you said right there, I take to bed with me. I take it as armor to get me through these times of, all these fans that sent me tons of mail about praying and about thinking about me through this injury and through making this new music. It became my armor, what I went out and faced the day with. And I just told God, if he gets me through it, then I'll go out and I will be an inspiration to people, and I'll help people, and I'll keep singing and keep digging. And me and Jaron Johnston produced this from the hospital bed.
I was actually going to ask you about working with the Cadillac Three's Jaron Johnston before we wrapped up this morning. Jaron's
been a buddy for 15 years. So he knows, this is going to sound weird, but he knows what I smell like. You know what I mean? I don't have to tell him, man, let's go a little more soulful with that guitar lick, or let's go. He knows what I want to do before I tell him. And the studio, we cut these songs back in May of 2019 with intentions of putting them out in the fall of 2019. And God just had other plans. So we pushed it back, but it's like working with a brother in there. I mean, you don't have to fluff anything up with Jaron. I mean, he's a good old long-haired, country hippie brother, and I love it. I love what we came up with. This is my favorite stuff yet. So
It's Stars, the new EP that came out on Friday, a 5-track release. Again, Drake White joining us. And you heard the lead single, Luckiest Man. And you're on Coffee, Country, and Cody from 650 AM WSM, WSMonline.com, the app download. We'll put on that full armor of God and make your way to the Grand Ole Opry stage again as soon as you can. Will you do that, Drake?
Absolutely. Come on.
All right. Joe, you want to give him a War Eagle before we go?
Oh, yeah. We didn't even get to that.
Are you a War
Eagle? Oh,
War Eagle?
Yeah.
I love that. Me and Joe, we got to go golfing.
I know. Hey, and you got to bring your wife and that red velvet cake.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Drake, thanks for coming on this morning.
Too.
Thank y'all. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Bye,
So
Drake.
proud for everything. Stars. It's the number one album, iTunes Country, and a top 10 album overall. Came out on Friday. Available wherever you buy or download music.
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our program director at WSM Radio is J. Patrick Tittle. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director is Amanda Cannon. And I'm Charlie Matos. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help new people find the show.